You earned the right.
Yeah, look, I'm good with that. I'm doing. I don't need that kind of things. I'm not looking for that kind of fights. If they want the fight, okay. It's in my way, not in their way.
Canelo Alvarez recently lashed out at the Saudi boxing broker for expelling him from the upcoming Riyadh season. Canelo was gutted after his heated face-off against Edgar Berlanga Jr., and he started tearing down Terence Crawford and His Excellency for dropping his name from their plans. The pound-for-pound king, Canelo, was especially bothered by Turkey's coldness towards him. Earlier, he thought that the prince wanted to make this fight, but he did not know that their call-outs were just a means to sell the tickets for August 3rd. Canelo openly condemned the way he was approached for this fight by His Excellency. He did not like the idea of this fight on the first day, and His Excellency's way of negotiation was proved to be the last nail in the coffin. Ahead of his title defense against the UR1 ranked contender and undefeated Edgar Berlanga, Canelo opened up, sharing his thoughts about Alalshikh's recent remarks about him. With Fight Hype reporting the scene, Canelo was heard saying, "I don't really care about him, Turkey. I am focused on my upcoming fight. He called me yesterday, he texted me yesterday, and I was supposed to talk about the fight against Crawford in February or meet them yesterday in Los Angeles with him. I said, look, I'm 100% focused on my other fight. Maybe that's why he said this today." Shrugging off this unwanted dispute with the Saudi advisor like nothing, Canelo is locked in to face the WBA's mandatory challenger, Berlanga, on September 14th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. And when the reporters doubled down on the matter, the pound-for-pound great gave a fitting reply, casually reminding the community why he is boxing's biggest draw currently. Canelo is isolated from other social media chit-chats because he is busy in preparations for the fight. Canelo admitted that Edgar Berlanga is not bringing much to the table, but he couldn't find a more suitable opponent. He even went further and dissed his opponent by saying that one Berlanga is nothing for him because he can handle 20 guys like him. Berlanga, who is himself an undefeated boxer with 22 wins to his name, somehow ate those comments. But things turned really bad when Berlanga was intervened by Caleb Plant, who was sitting among the undercard fighters.
At this level is intelligence and IQ. And we're not going to end up like that. But I got knocked out. Caleb.
All right. They're both
now.
on the same card.
Yeah,
All right, let's turn things back over.
Stop
Caleb,
the cap,
Caleb, take it easy. I'm gonna take care of him for you. I promise you. I promise you.
Berlanga was instantaneously agitated by these comments, and he started calling back at both Canelo and Caleb Plant. Not only that, Canelo extended his banter by ranking Edgar Berlanga way lower than Caleb Plant. Canelo wonders how Edgar claims a knockdown against him. This is something that no one has been able to do before. He advised Edgar to watch his fights against Munguia and Floyd Mayweather for a better understanding of him. From here on, their arguments got more heated and they got out of control.
You're going to see.
I'm excited to see.
You're going to see,
I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see.
You obviously, going into this fight, this is a huge stage. Canelo has the experience.
I'm gonna let you 8 rounds, just 8 rounds.
Okay.
You're gonna feel pain 8 rounds.
I'm gonna break everything in your face. I'm gonna break everything in your face.
You finish.
You're gonna see.
It is known all over the world that Canelo is not good at dealing with these kinds of insulting remarks. At first, when he was called the M-word, everybody thought that Canelo would rush at him, Edgar, like his previous bad encounters, but things remain in control. He refrained from a physical altercation, but was very stinging with his words. It wasn't confirmed whether Canelo was showing this rude behavior because of Edgar's imposing behavior or due to the loss of a multi-million fight against Terence Crawford. After their chit-chat there, Canelo held the microphone once again and told everyone that it was horrible to sit against Canelo. Adding further, he complained about Edgar's bad breath and how it became impossible for Cinnamon to stand next to him. Canelo went further when he was asked about the motivation behind this fight. These kind of I love boxing and I don't know much about English, but these kinds of words, I enjoy it so much. You are not going to do anything. You are just going to make me laugh. I don't want to you up because your money will be gone then. As this face-off ended, Canelo was asked some tough questions that were not linked to this fight. Everybody was requesting his views on Turki Alalshikh's anger towards him. The pound-for-pound was ready with the reply, and he bounced back by confirming that he won't say, "Yes, sir," to His Excellency and bow down like the other boxers.
It's not the way to approach. It's not the way to approach to me. Look, I respect everybody and I respect Turkey, but look, if he wants to work with me, it need to be in my way.
This was the clip in which Canelo Alvarez made the statement on who is the real boss here. He admitted that he has respect for His Excellency and Terence Crawford, but that doesn't mean they should take him for granted like this. The Mexican fighter added more, "My response to Turkey is this. Yesterday, they texted me and said that we can talk about a fight in February with Crawford. And I say, that, I don't want to talk about any other fight now. Look, I don't like the way Turkey talked, and now I'm in the position that if he wants to work with me, it's in my way. No other way, I don't need it." On the previous night of this face-off, he went to a television show where admitted that he wanted to fight Terence Crawford if Terence's boss was willing to pay the huge ransom of $150 million. Canelo admitted that he will fight anytime provided the money is available, and Terence is not bothered by his size. Before Prince Turki terminated this fight, Canelo shared these thoughts about his prospects against Crawford. Why not? Why not? Crawford, don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter, but for me, in my weight class, he's an easy fight. Easy money. In that same episode, Canelo proudly admitted that he takes 80% of the money in all his fights. He doesn't want to apply this condition against Terence, but he still won't enter the ring if he's not compensated. Like Terence, Canelo was also eyeing the prize money of this fight because he also had only a few more years in his career. Most analysts already predict that he has passed his prime after the Bivol fight. But there is something else that bothers him about the Crawford fight. Disrespecting Bud's style of boxing, he added, doesn't want to step up against the fighter whose sole mission is to last for 12 rounds. He voiced these concerns. I don't like to fight guys like Crawford because they move a lot and the fight is not that great. There are weight classes for a reason. You should ask him this question, but I know that in his mind, he thinks that he can do whatever he wants. After that, he moved on to the Benavidez fiasco. Canelo was targeted with the Benavidez question, and his hesitation was obvious. Sway asked him why he demanded $100 million more for stepping against Benavidez than his base money against Terence Crawford. The champ smiled for a moment, and then said that he was ready for a negotiation. His perspective on this fight, which is considered by the critics as ducking, was actually hilarious.
Would you negotiate down?
No less than 200.
No less than 200.
Ooh.
All right, let's get 200. Hey, y'all, we got enough people in the room. Let's get the money. But you deserve it.
I deserve it. Look,
Yes.
They always asking for a fight. Golovkin, Trout, Mayweather, Cotto, Callum Smith, there is Landy Lara, Billy Joe Saunders, Kylo Plan, and I fought everybody. And now I can do whatever I want. I deserve it.
Saul Alvarez expanded his point by reminding everyone that he had been fighting at the first call-out for a long time. But now he also deserves to have a choice over his opponent. He, Canelo, is also aware of the continuous call-outs of Benavidez Sr. and his son, but he won't fall into their trap. He won't fight Benavidez at a point when he is at 190 or 185 pounds. In response to a live caller's allegations of him for ducking Benavidez, he highlighted their weight gap and cemented the facts. Obviously, he's a risk, he's a great fighter. Plus, in the arena, on the fight night, he's bringing 25 pounds more than me. So, it's a risk, but, I don't care about that if the money is right. It can be on tomorrow. Take it as a stunt or a real deal, but the Saudi boxing broker has announced that he is no longer interested in making the most anticipated fight of this year. Canelo's stubborn attitude in negotiation has disheartened His Excellency to erase this fight from history. Prince Turki Alalshikh, the man who has served as the chairman of the Riyadh season, is the main reason for injecting life into the boxing world. He posted some informative updates on social media on Tuesday morning regarding Bud's speculated fight with Canelo. The first tweet read, "Just wrapped up an important meeting now with my team, planning for the upcoming fights that we will make for 2024-2025. I decided to disregard the Canelo fight, as I don't want it anymore. Instead, I will be focusing for the US market with bigger fights, especially for the legend Crawford." Additionally, His Excellency promised that he would do his best to make big fights for Boots, Haney, Shakur, Ortiz, Anderson, Benavidez, and Zepeda, and request the fans to support the future installments of this event. He has 3 big cards pending this year on the 21st of September, the 12th of October, and the 21st of December. These cards include AJ vs Dubois, Beterbiev, and Usyk vs Fury, respectively. However, the Prince didn't stop there. He went further in digging Canelo for his stubborn attitude towards the negotiation of this fight. This post was more of a diss than necessary information. He wrote an extended note which was filled with sarcasm. I heard what Canelo said, that he respects me, but doesn't like the way we do business. As for him respecting me, it doesn't matter to me if he does or not. As for the way I do business, I know why he doesn't like it, because I only target big fights at fair prices, so of course anyone who likes easy fights won't like that. And I know how he feels after losing to Bivol, so he's been looking for easier fights ever since. Also, I'm not the one who's afraid of fighting Benavidez or Crawford. Therefore, I knew he was wasting our time and making excuses with big amounts of money that can't be paid, so I'm continuing my way to make big fights that serve the boxing world. And he's on his way to making easy show-only fights. He discussed his plans to continue producing other boxing events in the United States and provided information on potential next fights. But he was not exasperated by the Mexican pound for pound for so long. On the night of last weekend, Adi Oladipo asked His Excellency Alalshikh about the Crawford-Alvarez matchup, and he replied with great confidence. The chairman of the General Entertainment Authority in Saudi Arabia mentioned that he had sent an offer to Canelo Alvarez that he couldn't refuse. His exact words were, "If he's smart, he will accept it. But if he doesn't, I want Virgil Ortiz." And in this case, it looks like the fight is officially dead now. But wait, because those of us who have been following this sport for a while know that it is a day-to-day concept in fight negotiations. No one knows what the future holds for them. One day, if both sides legitimately desire to fight, it can and will happen eventually. What do you say? In the meantime, UFC champion Conor McGregor has recorded his reaction to the rejection of this fight. He was not on good terms with Canelo, who chose his fight on the 14th of September as his fight against Edgar Berlanga Jr., because this date was already slotted for the UFC mega event in The Sphere, which is only a few miles down the road from T-Mobile Arena. In typical fashion, the notorious MMA went after Canelo Alvarez, bashing him for his $150 million demand to fight Terence Crawford. Reacting to TalkSport's Michael Benson's post, in which Canelo is justifying why he demands $250 million for Benavidez fight, the notorious MMA simply called him a cornflake and wrote, "Canelo is a cornflake. He has about 300K buys in him. He does not generate nothing near what he seeks to be paid. UFC Noche is going to run them from the strip. Sheikh Turki was right, moving on. Canelo doesn't sell." Conor is seen backing Alalshikh's bold move, adding salt to Alvarez's wounds while stating that the UFC's upcoming event would wipe his boxing bout clean off the picture. Do you agree with this? In the end, this mess has opened a lot of gates for Crawford to choose his next fight. After beating Madrimov with a decision win, he told the media a rematch with Errol Spence Jr. was no longer his priority. Now, Alalshikh's claims have closed his doors to make a fight with Canelo. Golden Boy Promotions star Virgil Ortiz Jr. is another potential opponent for Crawford, who has been calling him out for a long time. However, the only problem is that he would fall into the same category as Jaron Ennis as an up-and-coming fighter who won't add anything to BD's legacy. Lastly, Crawford wouldn't be interested in fighting with 154-pound champion in recess Jermell Charlo, despite their old beef. Tim Tszyu is another option, but he was already refused by Terence "Bud" Crawford. His Excellency had plans for this fight, and Bud was slated to face Australian pugilist Tim Tszyu on August 3rd. But these plans fell apart after the Aussie lost his last bout. This fight, if happened in the future, would never generate the kind of money Bud is expecting. Speaking of money, Canelo has just donated $70 million to build a center for kids with special needs, and no one has a clue of it. $70 million is a big volume, and he hasn't spoken a word about it. That tells us the character of the man and why he is demanding such large money to enter the ring. Neither have we seen him flashing his jewelry and chains like his other counterparts you-know-who. So, what are your views on his dispute with His Excellency? Is there any chance that they will be working together in the future? Tell us in the comments, and if you have already reached here, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. It helps a lot.